Hello world, Jennifer here. Something a little different for the YouTube channel tonight. A lot of people have asked for the recipe of the stewed cabbage that I make. So I thought the easiest way to give out the recipe would be make a video of it. I originally found this recipe in a cookbook that I was given back when I was in my early 20s cooking for a living. For my birthday, all the rest of the cooks in the kitchen thought it would be a great joke because of the way I ate if they had found a book called White Trash Cooking. The book here does actually exist. I'll put a link in the description to the book and all of its information. So if you're interested in the book, you can probably find yourself a copy somewhere out there on the internet. Otherwise, we'll get started with the cabbage stew. As you can see, I've done some prep work. I will show you a quick time lapse of the prep work of getting the onions, cabbage, and pork together and diced up. The pork that I use down here in the south is some smoked pork jowl bacon, as they call it. I just buy a single package of it, dice it up, have 2 or 3 medium to large onions diced up, and my cabbage. There's some other miscellaneous spices, some tomatoes and other stuff, a little shot of sugar, and some red pepper for a little bit of spice. I have a 5.5 quart pot that I usually make this in. I only have 1 head of cabbage because I didn't want to overdo it on this recipe this time. Sometimes I'll make the entire pot a little overflowing, but it does cook down with 1 large and 1 small head of cabbage. So to begin, we get the fire going. And we start with our meat. I'll bring you back when it's time to add the onions and show you about how far I like to have the bacon, or whatever you want to call it, the smoked pork, rendered down. Alright, I got my favorite wooden spoon. I usually start off with some pretty high heat. As the smoked pork starts to render down, I reduce my heat so that things do continue to render down without burning the fat that is rendered off the pork. Let's give it a quick check here, see what's going on in here. Oh, looking good. Doing good there, just starting to brown. There's the good shot of it there. Starting to smell good already. Alright, let's see, let's change hands. 3 or 4 minutes have passed. Let's give it a quick check. Oh yeah, doing really well. There's quite a bit of oil in the bottom of the pan. Quite a bit of grease there. Don't worry about that. The onions and the cabbage will absorb all that fat, and all that fat has wonderful flavor in it. We'll give it just a couple more minutes, and we'll add our onions and increase our heat. Alright, another 5 minutes or so has gone by. I've reduced my heat a bit, and I'm starting to actually bring the heat back up. Let's take a quick check. Oh, that's looking good. Definitely time. All my pork has become a little crispy, a little brown. So we'll add our onions. Give it a quick stir. Make sure all the onions get coated with the fat that is rendered out of the bacon. Get our heat turned back up so the onions have enough heat to brown. Break up the rest of my onion pieces. Add a little more heat there. Get things going again from the cold onions. Alright, then get it going. Put the lid back on it for a good 5 minutes or so. And as soon as the onions start to go clear and cook down, it'll be time for the cabbage. Bring you back shortly. One point to remember is almost always keep a lid on the pot. Helps keep in the heat, the steam. Speeds things along a little bit. Also keeps in the heat, makes things cook a bit better. Time to check in. Have our spoon at the ready. Our lid is on as usual. That's looking really good. Our onions are starting to go clear. Everything is settling down. Oh yeah, we're not really burning on the bottom. We got some brown stuff on the bottom. But when the liquid comes out of the cabbage, that'll come right off. Add some flavor. Yeah, you can kind of see the stuff there on the bottom. It's not burnt. It's all good here. Oh yeah, we scrape off all that good stuff. It has good flavor there. Alright. Well, I think it's time to add our cabbage. Yep, time to add the cabbage. Filling the pot up really nice. Before we get too much, let's start giving it a bit of a stir here. Get some heat up into the cabbage so it'll start to wilt and break down. Keep our heat not too high, kind of on a medium low. So we don't want to burn the bottom. Now's the time. Our tomatoes, and add liquid. Besides the diced tomato, I like to add a little sauce. Seems to give it a little more flavor. And we give it a good stir here. Oh yeah, that's starting to look right. Get the rest of our cabbage in. I was worried that one cabbage wasn't going to fill the pot, but filled the pot pretty nice. We'll end up with, after it's all cooked down, probably about a half a pot with my 5.5 quart pot. Alright. Put the lid on. Give it almost a solid 10 minutes and we'll be back to check. Now, we've added our cabbage, our tomatoes, sauce. Yep. That's starting to look. Oh yeah, we gotta turn our heat down a little bit as it starts to go here. Alright. That's starting to look the way it should look. I need both hands to give this a stir, but that's the way it should start to look in the pot. Bring you back to this view in a minute. Both hands to stir. A little more heat, not too much. Still keep it in about a medium low. Breaking up the other bigger chunks of cabbage too while we give it a stir here. Yeah, I got some liquid in the bottom, not too much. Shake it down, okay. Our pot's about 2/3 full. Now they're at this point. I got some thyme. I like to crush it up between my fingers. 2 nice big fat pinches of that. Crushed up between the fingers. We have a little sprinkle of red pepper flakes. Sprinkle of black pepper. Touch of white sugar, just a touch. There we go. Not much white sugar at all. It'll be sweet enough with the onions and everything. So, back on. You let that stuff set. I gave it a good stir. Lid. Make sure we get our lid on. That's it. Now comes the challenge. Just letting it sit there and stew for probably at least an hour. Then we'll give it a check probably about every 20 minutes for the next hour. Kind of stir in everything. I'll bring you back and we'll finish this up. Time to check on our pot. Oh, look at that. come up to temp. Gotta turn our heat all the way down to the lowest possible setting. We don't want to burn the bottom, but that's looking real good. That's the way everything should be looking. We'll give it a good stir. Make sure our bottom isn't burning. Yep. Oh yeah, that's stewing up just the way it should be. Yep. I gotta change cameras so we can do a stir on both hands, but that's the way we should be cooking. Alright. Oh yes. Stewing along very nice. I've turned my heat all the way down. Needs a good stir. With stew and stuff, it's just got as it says. It's gotta just stew. So I got my heat all the way down. I got my lid. I've got lots of time. Lots of time to stew. So we'll get the lid back on. Heat's all the way down. And that's it. It stays and stews for a good solid hour. Probably I'll check it probably about every 20 minutes over that hour, making sure my bottom's not burning, or I'll slide it off the heat a little bit more if the heat gets a little too hot.